Good morning, Digital Studies students. Today is Wednesday, May 17th. It's the third day of the first week of classes in this summer term, and today we've got a few things to do. You've already done a lot of work, probably, hopefully. You've set up a domain, you've installed WordPress, you've started working on it, you've read some things and discussed some things in Discord, and today we're going to continue some of those things with WordPress and with some discussions, and you're going to be transitioning into, or maybe you've already started working on your first module, which has to do with creativity. So there's the agenda. Again, we'll work on WordPress first. I would recommend working on WordPress first. I also want to tell you about an essay called As We May Think by Vannevar Bush and show you how I'd like you to interact with that essay. And then we'll talk about the first module. All right, so these are the notes and instructions for today, week 1, day 3, as you see. And I want to talk about a few things and show you some aspects of this. A lot of this is written out here textually, but I think having a video explanation of these things helps as well. I've got links to different tutorials if you want to follow those as well. But let me kind of show you some things here, and hopefully that helps. So WordPress is the software that I think everyone is using. If you're not using WordPress, that's fine. You may, if you have some, as long as you have some way to post content on your website, and that's great. It's just that if you have something, if you're doing something like that I don't know much about, I may not be able to help you as much. I know a bit more about WordPress, just even though I don't actually use WordPress for any of my websites. I know a bit more about it than some other things. So if you have any issues with those other things, you might be a bit more on your own, is all I'm saying. But anyway, so in terms of WordPress, this is, I'm calling this getting to know WordPress, because once you install WordPress, it's not quite ready right out of the box. You've got to do some things, and there's some things that I strongly recommend, some things that I recommend a little bit less strongly. Ultimately, what you do is up to you, but you do need to be thoughtful about it. That's the main theme that I'd like you to bear in mind. So first of all, so these are the strong recommendations, right? So if you think about your WordPress site, it's a public site. Anybody can post things, and people will write computer programs to try to post spam on your site, and that's unfortunately a thing that happens. So WordFence and Akismet are two plugins that I recommend that will help you avoid that. So I'm going to show you how to work with these. You can also install, you can also disable comments entirely, which is another way to avoid giving people an opportunity to post spam on your site. All right, so in terms of WordPress, if you've already looked around here a bit, you don't need this welcome message anymore. So I'm going to X that one out. This is just a blank WordPress that I've done nothing with yet. I'm just going to show you a few things in it. So in terms of Akismet and WordFence, these are both plugins. Akismet is already installed when you first install WordPress, and so you do have to do a few things to get it to work. I'm going to show you those things. First of all, you have to activate it. That's true for any plugin. You install, and then you activate. But as you can see with Akismet here, there's actually a third step as well. So you have to actually activate Akismet with akismet.com. It takes you straight to this button to do this, and you can click that there. If you forget to do this, or if you miss it or something, if you go back here or whatever, you click around, you'll see that it keeps trying to remind you, hey, you still need to set up your Akismet account. This big blue button, this is something you need to do. You can also get to it down here where it says settings and then set up your Akismet account. What you're looking for is an API key, which you may already have. If you've done this before with a different WordPress account, you can use the same API key across different ones. If not, you can make a new one. I'll show you here. Go to set up your Akismet account. And this is a bit that I do need to kind of show you. So there's a personal, Akismet is a business, they want to make money. So it will try to ask for money, but you don't have to pay for it. This is actually free for you because this is a personal site account. So over here on the left, you want to select this option where it says name your price, say get personal, and then you can say, okay, what is this worth to you? How much money a year? You can slide this all the way up if you want to, or you can slide it all the way down to 0, and that's fine. So if you do that, then make sure you just verify that you don't have ads, you're not selling products, you're not promoting a business, and then you can go ahead with the personal subscription. Now, I already have an account, so I'm not going to proceed here, but if you do this on your own, you'll have to enter your email address, and then I don't think it'll ask for an actual payment method. It just needs your basic contact information, and then you'll check out. It'll be free, and then you'll end up with a number, like an API key. It's I think a 12-digit API key, and you can paste it directly here if it doesn't automatically take you back here to connect with it. Once it works, you'll be able to tell that it works because you'll be looking at, if you look at this settings page, instead of seeing this message where it says eliminate spam from your site, you'll see something that says like, congratulations, you are already eliminating spam, or something like that. It'll visually change, so you'll definitely see that it works. And if I look at your site, I can't actually tell from the outside if your Akismet is activated, so if you want me to double check it, we'll have to get on a Zoom call maybe, and I can look at your dashboard if you can share your screen with me. All right, so the other plugins. So plugins are bits of code that add functionality to your website, so you can add them by going to where it says Add New, and then WordFence is another one I'm recommending. It has its own kind of freemium structure, kind of like a Kismet. So there's like a free version that works fine, and then you can pay for more advanced features to install WordFence. You click the install button, and I believe you do also have to activate it, sort of like a Kismet, but I don't actually remember. So we'll find out as this goes if anything is necessary after it installs. So what's happening right now is it's downloading the software from the repository wherever it lives, and it's coming down into my WordPress installation. It's taking a little while. That's all right. Okay, there you go. It's installed, and so now I can go to my installed plugins page. I could click the activate button, or I can go to my installed plugins page, click activate here, and then this should hopefully start working. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so it looks like you do have to register it, just similar to a Kismet, but that's also a free option, so go ahead with that. And make sure you complete that process too. Okay, so finally, let me show you how to disable comments and just not have to deal with a lot of these things. So if you go to the settings, a menu here, and then discussion under that, you will find that there are some discussion options. And yeah, you're seeing this big hill thing reminding me about WordFence. Yes, I know. So this one here, this box here that says allow people to submit comments on new posts, that's checked by default. If you uncheck it, then no one will be able to comment on any new posts that are added. I also recommend unchecking both of those. So down way at the bottom, scroll down to save. So now that will affect any new posts. Now notice I keep saying new posts, so that means that posts that already exist on your site, like if you have the Hello World post, it still has comments enabled on it because it was there already before I changed that setting. So to change the discussion settings on an individual post, this is what you actually have to do. You open the post in the editor, like I've got here. You can also do this from the quick view, but this is easier to see. And then down here on the right next to me, expand the discussion section, and you can see where it says, hopefully you can see that, where it says just allow comments. Uncheck that, and I can't see this here. Okay, fine. There we go. I had to get rid of that message so I could see the actual update button, and then just make sure you update it, and now that post has its comments disabled. So those are some basic things. There's a lot more with WordPress, but I want to make sure that you have a good experience with it. So these are some good first steps to do. There are some next steps, and I will talk about them in a future video, I think. Okay, so going back to the agenda, that was securing, customizing, and getting to know WordPress a little bit. So let's take a look at Vannevar Bush and what I'd like for you to do for that. So the link is available in here. There's also a link on the assignments page. This is the assignment, and it's an assignment, but it's really, as an assignment, I'm not really grading it. I just want to use the assignment structure to point you to it so you know what to do with it. That's a thing that Canvas kind of helps me do. And this is actually going to take you into a new tool, or a different tool called Perusal. You may not have used this before, so I want to explain a little bit about what Perusal is. You can, oh, sorry, I didn't show the right image there, but there we go. I'm in sync now. So this is the assignment for As We May Think. You can get here from the notes and instructions for today. And you can load Perusal in two ways. You've got the Perusal link in the navigation for Canvas, which is over here on the left. And then you've got this button that says Load As We May Think in a new window. As We May Think is the title of this essay. So I actually already have it open in this tab, but what I recommend you do is use the link in the Canvas navigation first. Once you do that, it'll set up an account in Perusal that links to your Canvas account. It'll do that automatically when you click that link. It won't necessarily do that automatically if you click this button down here instead. If you click the Load in a new window button, you might get an error message that says something about creating an account and logging in. If you get that, just back up and start over again, basically, and it usually just takes a minute or two to clear it. But just bear that in mind. You may get an error with that. If you find this doesn't work, or you find you can't get into it, I've also got a direct link to the PDF that you can download directly here if you just want to read it that way. But I prefer you to read it in Perusal if you can. So this is what Perusal looks like, and I've got it loaded here as a test student account. As you can see, there are two essays in the just kind of here. There's this essay that we'll look at later, and then there's As We May Think, which is the one that we're working on this week. So click on where it says Work on Assignment, or you can open it from the library as well. And this is a PDF, so it's a PDF of a web page, and this is a social annotation tool. So the idea, you can close this sidebar. The idea is that as you read, you can highlight something, and then you've got a little message area where you can type a comment about it. So you could add some explanation of something interesting, that you could ask a question about it. You could draw a connection between something Vannevar Bush is talking about here and something that you recognize from today. This essay was written in 1945. It's on a web page, but this is an essay from 1945. So it's interesting to look at in terms of what Vannevar Bush thought about technology in the future, what he thought technology could and should be at that point. So bear that in mind as you read it. The especially interesting parts, I think, are in the sections 5, 6, 7, and 8, kind of near the end of the document. He's talking about here an object called a Memex, and here's a part where he's discussing it. So there are two things I want to make sure you get from this article. First of all, what is the Memex, or what would it have been? This is a hypothetical technology that never actually was created, but what was it? How did it work? So that's the first thing. And then also, why did Vannevar Bush think we needed this technology? Technology needs to solve a problem, so what problem did he think the Memex was solving at this point in 1945? Why did he think we needed something like this in 1945? So he lays that out in the opening sections of the essay, then talks about the actual technology throughout. But make sure you connect that dot. Like, why is it important? Why do we have it? Okay, so like I said, 5 comments, 5 questions, 5 responses to people, whatever combination of those, right? So not 15 total, but 5 of some type of interaction on this article would be great. You can also discuss it in Discord if you find that more comfortable. Okay, so that was As We May Think by Vannevar Bush. And so the final thing is to work on and think about your first module, which is going to be focused on creativity. So if we go back to the notes and instructions for today, you'll see some information about the third module. So I think my son is doing karate over there. So you'll see that there's information about the 3 modules I'd like for you to choose from: creative coding, interactive fiction, and digital audio. And then there's instructions for the assignment here, links from the assignments page as well. And I want to talk about the 3 phases of this. We're in phase 1 right now, probably. This is something that's normally a student in a fall or spring semester would be working on this over a period of 2, maybe even 3 weeks. You'll probably honestly do this all in one day, and that's harder in some ways, but it's fine. So the idea is that you first need to declare your intentions with this module. So read about each of these 3 things, decide which one you want to do, decide what you want to do about it, and then write a blog post explaining your plan. Do that first, post it on your blog, and I also would like for you to share that in the Discord channel associated with your module. So that is what initiates phase 2, which is where you just do whatever that is that you said you would do. And as you do those things, as you explore the different technologies, as you try different things, and as you prepare different drafts of things, whatever it is you're working on, post it in that channel saying, here's what I've got, what do you think? Or here's this thing I can't figure out, how do I do this? Help each other, give each other feedback, and that's the sense of a group for this. This is not a collaborative project really, it's just that you have a kind of ad hoc working group that are doing similar things as you, and you'll have that Discord channel as a place to have that conversation. And then finally, there's 2 things to finish up each module, and this is of course the first one. So prepare a short video, so 60 to 90 seconds, keep it short. This does not have to be like a elaborately edited video, it just needs to be recorded. You do not have to appear on camera if you don't want to, but I do need to hear your words. So in fact, you don't have to speak, like you could use some kind of like text-to-speech program if you really want to, but they need to be your words, your composed words, and you need to tell me what you learned, what you built, and why it matters. If you have built something, it would be great to demo it in that video. If not, you can just talk about it and maybe show the back end of what it could have been, or maybe your plan document or whatever whatever you imagined it might have been, even if it didn't end up being that actual thing. And then finally talk about why it matters. Like, why was this a significant learning experience for you? There's lots of ways you can record a video. I kind of leave it to you to figure that out. Zoom is fine, actually. You can record, set up a meeting just with yourself and then record it. That's the way that some people have done this, and that's fine. You could, pull up the screen. Whatever. There's so many different ways to record a video now that I trust that you can just figure that out. But if you do have questions or want some advice about how to proceed, I'm happy to do that. And then finally, when you're done, write one last blog post. So in total, there should be an initial blog post, some discussion in Discord, a video, and then one more blog post. So I should be able to go to your site and see 2 blog posts. I should see that video. You can embed the video on your blog if you want to. You can just share it in Discord if you'd prefer not to have it on your blog. You can also just send it to me directly if you'd prefer it to be in neither of those places. So I'm the only one that really has to see the video, so if you would like to just send that directly to me, that's acceptable as well. Right, so many options there. Okay, so that's all of this is things you should be working on today, but it's really due this week. So if you can't get all this done today, it's fine, you got some time. I'm not going to insist on doing things day by day, although I recommend it so that you don't fall behind and things don't kind of stack up on each other. But that's it. Should be a busy day, but should be interesting. I'll be online this afternoon. I'm recording this on Wednesday morning, so I'll be online this afternoon, 1 to 3 on my Twitch channel. I can work through any of these things again, or show you things, or answer questions, or just chat about whatever. So thanks for watching, and I will see you either tomorrow with another video, or maybe this afternoon.